Hello everybody, stamp collecting is fun. Update. I've had my deliveries. I had them 5 minutes ago and I've greedily opened the packages and I've put them where I want them to be. And finally I can get round to showing you what I've... It's only a little thing, but I thought it looked pretty neat. And these deliveries have helped resolve that thing that I wanted to thing. Why is everything a thing? I don't know, Jim. Okay, but before we go into that, these are the stamps that I had on the packaging from 3 deliveries. And I'm very grateful that people are still using stamps. So these can now be added to my overall collection. Whitney, this is 27th of November, 25. That's quite nice, isn't it? So there's something saloon. I'm not sure what's going on. Could it be the fun fair? Could be. What else? What other stamps have I got? Well, here's a Christmas stamp, 2nd class. And it's got that band there that says it will not be used again. And also a cancel on it, but the cancel is just ink, basically. Next we have an older stamp, but was used for postage. Boxing, as you can see, 15p. And November 25th is just about visible on the left, on the tram line. What do they call that thing? I don't know. Maybe you can let me know. But that's quite nice as well. It's nice to get a different stamp. Here we've got, again, 27th is marked here, 16p. Looks like some sort of bridge to me. Maybe if I read it. Humber Bridge, that is, which is in Humberside, would you believe? River Humber, north east of England. Good old England. And finally, jolly old Britain. Here we have King Charles III. So always worth keeping. I've got an envelope full, but not full, but I'm keeping an envelope for his stamps. So, what have I got to show you? Righty-ho. Well, you know I've been doing a collection of the royalty stamps, you know, the GB UK stamps, so Victoria stamps basically. We're not going to go through the stamps again. Yes, I've got a penny black. But what I've added to it is a little postcard here. It's unused, so it's just a sort of, you know, it's a cheap postcard. But I think it does set up that page quite nicely. Now, I found this in another album, and I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I had one for every Monarch? And I think that sort of, it sets it off a little bit. I mean, yeah, I think it does. I mean, where it should go, it's a bit awkward, you know, where it should go and everything, but it tells you where you are. So, just the one. We then go on to the next monarch, which is Edward VII's son. And here he is. And this would, I haven't taken it out of its casing, but that's a lovely photograph of him. It is a nostalgia postcard, so there's no age to this whatsoever. But again, what it does is, it just sets up this. If I can get it in, there we are. It just sets up the page neatly. Yes, unneatly, we could say, but you sort of know where you are with it. I think it's a neat addition. So I bought this last week on the Bay of E, and he didn't have many stamps during his reign, so we just turn the page and we then have his son. I think his name was Albert, but he called himself George, so George V. The chap before was also Bertie. Was he Bertie or was he... Or I don't know. You know, that again is, there's no age particularly to this. Unused. anything used or of age was of a price, so I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible, and it does fit neatly into his page of stamps, or the beginnings of his page of stamps. He was, of course, the stamp collecting king, the king of all stamps. And the other thing that I received today were some, and I already have a couple, but the downy heads. So I've had, I think I've had 5 green today, and 4 of the reds. These were frowned upon by King George V. He didn't think they were very impressive at all, and made him look a bit not king-like. There are different not versions, but there are different sort of strains of these. So we see the black-haired one there is slightly different to the light-haired one, that sort of thing. There's a black-haired one. Yeah. Maybe it's just the greens. I don't know. And then he went on to these classic Sailor King type stamps. So that's nice. All his baubles there. We then go over to more of his stuff. We have to turn the page again to Edward VIII. I haven't got one for him. I may have to buy one for him, and also George VI I have not got. But I've got my favourite one here. Queen Elizabeth. The Queen. Her Majesty the Queen. So I've got this one, which I think is an early photo of her. And again, there can't be any age to it, because this would be 1953, maybe, if at its eldest. But what I liked about it was Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, photo by Dorothy Wilding, who, of course, one of her photos was used as the Wilding stamps, as they're called, the definitives, her first definitives, and these lasted a long time. Billions were printed over the years. And the Queen looks slightly different in this photo. She looks very delicate, doesn't she? Very slim and elegant. But slightly less modern than she became, I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking nonsense. I mean, I think she looks better in this photo than she does in that. But of course it isn't that, because this one she's looking at you. Or she's just looking past you. And this one she's looking a bit further. I don't know. But it's a wonderful photograph, and I think it fits nicely. The Wilding bit. I was delighted when I received it, because I didn't know the Wilding bit was on it, because I never read the full thing, did I? But that was a nice little addition, I felt, to her stamping page. And again, I've sort of filled up in order as best as I can. There's one missing here, an expensive one, and yeah. So that's what I'm up to with regards to the Monarchs. Very pleased, as I say, with... I count these as little extras. If you needed that for your collection, for example, and you had to go online to buy it, well, you get it for free. I sort of got it for free, even though I didn't ask for it. It's a bit like, you go to the supermarket and you get 15% off something that you never ever buy, and you buy it, and then you're like, you've basically wasted 18p for the sake of saving 15p on a product that you didn't want. Well, this is slightly different, because I want all stamps. Every stamp that was ever made, I would want. I would never turn down any stamps. But I'm basically getting 2 stamps there off one guy. I got another stamp off another. The same guy, he gave me those also, and then this came with a downy. So that's a nice, I wouldn't say surprise, because I've been looking out the window waiting for Posty, and eventually he stroke she has turned up. And I'm very delighted that she did. We're going to leave it for that for now. 2 videos in one day. I'm getting greedy. And the sun is shining now as well. So maybe the light is better. Let's have just have a... So look at Charles, for example. Charles. His Majesty. Can I actually do this properly? There he is. Will it? Will it actually? Yes, it will. That's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, the nearer in you get, the less lookalike he is, the further away, I think. With that, yes. And boxing. Very nice. Laughing Clowns, this is called, by the look of it. In a saloon. Angel Gabriel may be trumpeting. And it is also a Charles stamp, so yes, that will go there. I'd forgotten to look at that. On the Humber Bridge. Anyway, that's it for now. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.